Alright, we're back on sports, and let me say this right now. We're just going to get right into it. We're going to start right away with Little League World Series. Right, we're going to talk about Little League Baseball. I am pretty disgusted to see what's going on Twitter. And I'm talking about you adults. You're arguing, you are fighting, you are making fun of the kids that are playing these games. They're, 12, 13 years old? They're kids. They're kids. You should be ashamed of yourself for fighting over Little League Baseball. It's sad. It really is. However, I will say this, alright? The popularity that's come with Taney Dragons not too long ago. For those who don't know, Taney Dragons, they're here in Philadelphia. Actually, it's like 10 minutes away from here, okay? And ESPN. ESPN. I'm happy that this happened. I really am. I'm happy that Monet Davis, and I will talk about her in a bit, and the Taney Dragons made it this far. Because, for those who don't remember, about a year or so ago, for those who have been watching my videos, ESPN, remember, they made a report saying that baseball in black neighborhoods were dying. And remember when I did that video, what did I say? I said, no, it's not. You haven't been out here. They have them up in Port Richmond. They have them Taney. They have them everywhere. South Philly. Young black men and women, or I should say young black kids, because they're kids, are playing baseball. Yes, it costs more because, it's not like basketball or football where all you just need to do is buy a ball and then you can get a bunch of people together, because of, their area and, lack of funding. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute too, okay? But I also want to say that this shows that ESPN has no idea what the hell they're talking about. For those who don't know, before Taney played not too long ago against Las Vegas, and I'll talk about that in a minute, alright, understand that ESPN did, was it an interview with Monet Davis's mom? That's right. They actually went to the field, they went to Taney, and they actually talked to her on the field. They interviewed her, did you ever think it would get this far, and things of that nature, okay? So it goes to show you that ESPN, that they're disconnected with the community. And they lie. And just because they sit here and say certain things on camera doesn't mean it's true. Like I said, if you're not down in communities to see if these kids are playing, you cannot make reports about them, okay? Now, I will say this. Monet Davis, this girl has some heat. Well, she was throwing, 60, 70 on the gun? Now, look, I put like this. A lot of people are blaming the Sports Illustrated because, they put her on the cover of Sports Illustrated. A lot of people are blaming her, Sports Illustrated for the curse, the cover curse. I'm not going to go there, all right? Because for anybody who's been watching the Little League World Series knows that Las Vegas went through the West and they had a tough bracket. They're a tough team. There's a lot of concentration on that team. They know what they're doing. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's the Sports Illustrated curse, as many have said. I'm not going to say that. Las Vegas is a tough team. Them kids can play, okay? Now, I will say this. Because of the popularity of Monet Davis, we have seen so many people come out not too long ago. And I'm telling you, this popularity is skyrocketing, and it's really bothering me, especially bandwagoners like Lil Wayne. First off, bandwagon Wayne, we don't need you. I put it like this. If you want to sit and jump on the wagon and other celebrities want to jump on the wagon, why don't you do something worthwhile and donate to Taney's playground? Huh? They're baseball. Why don't you do that? If you want to talk about it so much. Same thing with our mayor. He's holding rallies for Taney. This is the third one he's going to hold now. But he's never been down there before. He didn't care before. He hasn't found any funds to help the playgrounds, has he? No, I told you. This is what it comes down to. This is why I like this story of Taney, because it brings awareness. But as you know, if they weren't winning, no one would give a damn about them. And that's the truth. So, do I think they're going to win the Little League World Series? I don't think they will, but if they do, that's even better because you know what? The popularity, you know how people are. Everyone loves a winner. They want to come down. They want to be part of it. They're going to buy the T-shirts, the chips and dips and all that, and all of a sudden, you got something going here. It raises awareness. It probably will bring more kids out, to want to play after seeing it. So it's inspirational to those kids. You have to understand, if you want something to survive, you have to put in effort. And the sad part is, others, like myself, we make sure that these playgrounds are being renovated. We make sure that, and you know what? I said that I was going to talk about, today in the next, I said last week in the next sports video, I would talk about the basketball playgrounds and being renovated. I talked about that report that ESPN did. I'm going to wait. Why? Because next week I have something to show you. I'm going to wait till next week because I have to go on site and record to show you things are getting done. Just for them to, just to shut them up. Alright? Just to show that. So next week, I promise next week, as I said, I have to go on site. However, this is what I mean about the Little League World Series. When you have these people, it is so sad to see them fighting over kids. Alright? Kids playing. I don't understand. Like I said, I do love the awareness though. And I do want to talk about this real quick, because for those who did not see, this is one of the funniest moments last night, when Taney played Las Vegas, right? So Las Vegas, the pitcher's on the mound or whatever, and he's getting in a rut. Coach Drunky comes out, okay? Comes out and tries to, motivate the kids. And he's like, well, just make sure you're having fun, right? And then out of nowhere, he says, "This is America." Like, what? Like, Coach, I'm sure the kids understand that they're still in America. It's quite obvious he had nothing else better to say. All right, he knew he was mic'd up. He had to say something motivational, and he just kept saying, "Just have fun. Just make sure you're having fun out there. Have fun. Have fun." That's all he kept saying. He was repeating himself. I'm like, okay, parrot. Okay, have fun. We get it. You know what I mean? Like, it made no sense to me on what he was trying to do. Like I said, I understand he was trying to be, inspirational. But once he pulled out, "This is America," I was like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? I don't understand this. All right, it also reminded that instance right there. It reminded me of South Park, where the kids didn't want to play any more Little League Baseball, and they were trying to lose purposely, but the parents wanted them to keep playing, like, because everyone loves a winner. That's what it comes down to. So, as far as I'm concerned, do I think that Taney will win the World Series? Like I said earlier, I don't think they will, but we shall see. If they do, hey, all right, you know what I mean? But it goes to show you the hypocrisy that's going on here when it comes to, or it's not just here in Philadelphia, all right? It's playgrounds around the country, around the world. There's a lot of people who do not care about this type of stuff, but they're going to speak on it. Or as soon as it gets big, then they're going to jump on it. We've been doing this from the beginning, man. But of course, now that, ESPN has stepped in, Sports Illustrated has stepped in, all the people that tried to pull together and make this work get forgotten. I don't understand that. And it's sad. Like I said, if our mayor really does want to, showcase Taney, go down there and make sure they have the renovations that they need. They got the funding that they need. That's all it is. You don't have to give them tons of money and be like, here's some new uniform stuff. No. Because I guarantee you, if they need new uniforms, those parents will pull together and get that stuff for them. Because they've been doing it this long, they'll keep doing it. That's not the problem. But funding-wise, for upkeep, and make sure that they have the equipment that they need, that's what you should be doing. Make sure that those lights are working. If a couple lights go out in the field, you can't see anything. Those are the type of things I'm talking about. If you think someone's going to, desecrate the place or whatever, make sure they have some cameras out there so, to keep the kids safe and keep everyone in the neighborhood safe, of that area. This thing is bigger than just throwing a pitch. But it goes to show you that all it takes is a special individual, because they keep highlighting Monet Davis. It takes a special individual that can bring it all together. The Taney Dragons, they look like they're having fun out there. We saw some arguing last night, from coaching and batters, but that's baseball. That's fine with me. I don't have the problem with the kids getting, mouthing off with the coach. Not the coach, but with the, umpires and arguing balls and strikes. I like to see that, because they take it seriously, They're showing heart. They're showing passion. I like to see that, Anyway, speaking of heart and passion, I want to talk about Eagles versus Steelers coming up tonight. I'm not seeing that much passion from the Steelers, not their team, all right, but from certain players on their team. For those who don't know, Steelers fans, I'm sure you've seen it already. Bell and Blount have already said, it's already been announced that they're not going to play in this preseason game because they were caught with possession of marijuana. Now, look, I have a problem with this due to the fact that they are supposed to be professionals. You get paid millions of dollars to play a sport that is a privilege, all right? Because you could be a trash man, okay? Just saying. You get paid millions of dollars, and all the owners are asking you to do is perform well, keep your body clean, keep it at a high level so that you can try and win a Super Bowl. That's it. That's all they ask of you. And, to conduct yourself in an adult manner. Getting caught with marijuana shows that you negated all of that. Did you not learn from Josh Gordon? Matter of fact, did you not learn for years ago with Ricky Williams? I don't understand what is the problem that you cannot stay away from drugs when it comes to playing sports. What's the problem? You know it's illegal. And I don't care what your stance is on how it should be legalized or not. We talked about this actually earlier this week. That's not the point. The point is, if the company, or any company, because you should know by now, any job is, unless you're working for like High Times or something, they aren't going to let you be associated with drugs. They're going to cut you off. That's what they do. because they don't want to be associated with that. They don't want their image to be hurt, all right? The NFL, for what they're doing, and you know they're already taking a lot of, taking a hit already for this marijuana thing with Josh Gordon because of what happened with Ray Rice. We know this. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't understand why players cannot be adult about this. Why can you not stay away from this type of stuff? You're millionaires, and yet you still feel as though you're untouchable. All right? You're not going to be happy until people start taking your money away from you. That's what it seems like. Once they start taking away stuff, like, seriously, you play a sport, it's a privilege. You're feeding your families. Is that enough? Is it not enough? You have popularity with fan base. Is that not enough? You were hailed as great players. You were hailed, and I know people say, what, they're great players. Look, they've made it to an elite level. They're great players, okay? You were hailed as great players by fans. You were feeding your family by playing football instead of going out there and actually selling drugs or shooting somebody or robbing somebody or whatever, or having a low-paying job. You're living the dream, and yet you still think that's not, you still have to try and mess that up somehow. I don't get that. I really don't. Speaking of Josh Gordon, all right, I want to talk about him for a minute. We don't know what's going to happen with his suspension. We don't know if he's going to play, X amount of games this season. We have no idea. And speaking of the Cleveland Browns, I do want to talk about this quarterback battle. I had said, did I not, that Hoyer should have been the starter. Manziel has shown, not that he can't play, all right? That's not what I'm saying. He's green. We know this. It's not that. It is his mentality. For those who did not see what happened with the Redskins and the Browns, all it took was a little bit of talk in his ear to get him to do this. If that's all it takes from the Washington Redskins to say, you're not in college anymore, and for him to act like that, that goes to show you how mentally weak he is. That means, now that it's been done, pretty much they put the bulletin out there for every player that's on the defense, okay? In any NFL team, they can get the Manziel. That's what it shows. Now, Manziel came out and said, he has to be smarter about it. He should know that the cameras are on him. You should have known this by now, all right? You've been walking around the clubs, snorting it up, doing all kinds of stuff and partying. The cameras have been on you. It doesn't matter if you're a backup or a starter. They are on you because you're Johnny Football. You should know this. All right, the hype is real. So, regardless what Hoyer does, because I really feel as though this is going to go down like they did with Denver, and they're going to try to push Tebow in so hard. They're going to try to push Manziel in so hard. And Manziel said at the press conference, he said, he's the backup. It shouldn't, the spotlight shouldn't be on him. It should be on Hoyer. It should, and it's right. Hopefully this lights a little bit of fire under Manziel to say, hey, I want that spot so bad that, so when I do get my turn, I just turn it up so high that no one can stop me. Hopefully that's what happens. Hopefully that's what he learns from it. But the fact that all the partying, the fact that that's all it took at a preseason game to get to him, man, they know now. Everyone knows. The message has been sent to every, defender in the NFL. They're going to be trying him the entire time. And that is a problem. Now, speaking of Cleveland Redskins, I have to talk to Redskins fans real quick. Because RG3, what is going on with this dude? Seriously, I understand that he is healthy. He has the braces off the knee. I get it. But if you have not watched RG3, in the huddle, and on those snaps, mechanically, he is still throwing off his back foot. Mentally, he doesn't look like he's all there. We saw him run. We saw him get popped a couple times, okay? Really badly, and as you know, he needs to start sliding, and then when he did slide, it looked weird. And there was times where he would get off the ground and he would be limping, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here. And for everything that you're seeing, Washington fans, regardless of your receivers, all right, no matter how dynamic, you can have the most dynamic receivers in the league. If the offensive line cannot protect your quarterback, doesn't matter what receiver you have. You have to understand it does start with him. He has not looked that great. He hasn't. I mean, I'm not going to bag on him because we'll see what happens in the season. But he's still throwing off that back foot, and that should be a problem for you. You should know when you're a quarterback, you're going to throw the ball, you step forward and you throw. You plant that foot, you step forward, and you fire. You don't throw off your back foot. No way. That's not how it works. That's how people get picked off. A lot. I'm just saying, the guy has a lot to work on. Like I said, I understand. It is a new system. It is a new coach. I get it. Okay? But you have to watch his mechanics, man. Just because he has a new system and a new coach does not mean his mechanics should change. unless they're trying to change it. And we haven't seen that in training camp. We haven't seen anything that, suggests that they're trying to change his throwing style or anything like that. So this is all RG3. He says he understands he needs to slide. He's said it a number of times. He gets it. People need to stop getting on him. I understand that. He does need to start, sliding more. But this is something that you can't teach players. Once they're ingrained, it's the same thing with Michael Vick. When he was here in Philadelphia, when he was in Atlanta, he's going to do the same thing in New York. He don't slide. He just runs. That's what he does. You can't really teach that. You can't coach that out of someone. Hopefully RG3 can make the adjustment, but I really don't see it happening. I don't. We'll see what happens, though. I'm looking forward to Eagles versus Steelers tonight. I will be watching. I will be live tweeting with the rest of you guys. I will talk to you, and like I said, next week I will do about basketball, about the playgrounds. Like I said, I want to film that, on site, just to show y'all, what they don't know what the hell they're talking about. ESPN, none of them do. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe, man. I'm out.